So I'd also like to know, just on your personal experience, obviously people are going to be presented with different options, whether they're going to Peru or they're staying in the West somewhere, or even in the East now there's some ceremonies in India, things like this. And what would you say is the most effective kind of method for healing in these different circumstances?
Cool, that's a really good question. I mean, because there are so many options these days and ways to go about things. I think I'm always going to go back to this intuitive thing, and everyone is individual, and then also we have people's circumstances that will affect their choices. Some people can take the time off work and have the abundance that they can go and do a week or 2 week retreat in the Amazon somewhere, ideally in Peru. At the same time, some people maybe, their circumstances and their, kind of financial status is such that they can only really, spare a night sometimes. So, then it's totally appropriate to, do a ceremony in your metropolis, that kind of thing, where it may be just one night thing. Sometimes people do stuff, in nature in the West as well, maybe do a weekend kind of thing, starting with maybe a sweat lodge or something, and then, 1-2 ceremonies and integrated with maybe raw food or, yoga or some other kind of spiritual practice. So I suppose the main considerations is like how much time you've got. I don't think, it's going back to what we said before, that it's important that you have to go to the jungle to drink ayahuasca. I think, your circumstances and what you personally feel, going back to that same topic always again, I think if you're working with ceremonies where you're really going into intuitive space and where the energy of the circle and the space supports that process, because you can say to somebody, who's going to ceremony, remember to be in intuitive space, but when you're actually in the space and people are dancing around and there's lights on and all that kind of stuff, and people with fancy clothes and costumes and this kind of stuff, it's very easy to get carried away in the situation and get distracted kind of thing. So I think because of how human nature is, it's like, don't smoke, don't do this. You tell that to a kid, of course, well, they're going to do the absolute opposite. So I think it's important to choose a place where you can go, where it's set up for you to be in intuitive space. And the people who are working in that kind of way, have got a very, they've got a good understanding of how the process works, and I think that's going to support you immediately with your process and really build some great foundations and set you up on a great kind of journey with the medicine, not only in that experience but as a practice in your life.
And also in terms of how many retreats someone should do, the structure, would you say it's good to be doing ayahuasca every night for a set period of time, or would it be better to have breaks in between? And how many times a year or in a lifetime? What would you be able to say about this?
I mean, I always say that if you need to do more than one night in a row, then the people aren't doing their job correctly. But that is not necessarily the case. I think a lot of people, especially who've done a lot of other work with recreational, drugs and medicines, find that sometimes doing a number of ceremonies in a row can be very, very beneficial. Often the first ceremony just kind of realigns people and gets them in the right space, and then the second one, boom, they really kind of fly with it. At the same time, if it's done really well, and one ceremony is a great starter kind of thing, and you can get enough information and experience within that, especially, if you do some good preparation and stuff beforehand. You do some detoxing before, you observe the diet very well, you do your intention, all that kind of stuff. You set yourself up, then you can go in and you're really ready, fast really well before the ceremony. Go in, one ceremony can be absolutely amazing kind of thing. As to frequency beyond that, I mean, there are retreats and stuff that go on where people do stuff, over certain nights. Often there'll be breaks, it won't be night after night, but often, in the city it'll be like a Friday and a Saturday night, and then people have got Sunday to recover, and then they can go back to work on Monday kind of thing. So sometimes that's the format. Beyond that, going back to the to-do list, I think once you've completed your to-do list, I think you're ready to drink again. That's what I'd say. I mean, on a purely practical level, month, 6 weeks, 2 months, and then you have to go back to the thing of, you know, where people, the circumstances people have and the opportunity as well, you know.
Of course, like
So
you
yeah,
might do it once a
yeah,
year.
yeah,
or,
exactly, yeah. You know, I think it's, you know, that's
or some
all
people
really,
might just decide after one.
yeah, I mean, I've definitely had that. There's some people, it shifts so much in their life that they're just so busy enjoying their life. But yeah, normally after a year or two, they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, come back and, you know, like, okay, I'm ready to, you know, to go a bit deeper. Yeah, I mean, it can have that effect on people that they're like, wow, and suddenly like just so engaged in their life, you know. But you get people as well, like what I'd call like regulars, you know, and it's like a practice. It's like, you know, playing chess or, you know, guitar or doing yoga or meditation. It's a nice thing that you can keep coming back to, and, you know, going a bit deeper. And there's so much knowledge, you know, in the world, and there's even just on a personal level, and then beyond that of what we're capable of, and what can, you know, what can actually be achieved in this you know, universal realm that we have. So yeah, I don't think there's any limit to where you can go with it. I think it's very important that it's done very sustainably.
Yes.
You know, not too much of the chacruna DMT kind of thing, and more of the real ayahuasca. So it's very nourishing and healing, and really teaching you to
So you're
come
not
from
having
an
any
intuitive
like really
process.
negative side effects from.
I think if you take too much DMT or too much ayahuasca that's very rich in DMT, it can kind of get people into a very kind of cosmic plane that can sometimes be a little bit sort of like disconnected from the earthly plane. So yeah, that's something, and can be a little bit Moorish as well. So that's definitely something you need to worry about. You know, if you do drink brew that is very kind of chacruna and trippy, then we'll probably go into a bit more of this in some of your later questions. But yeah, very good afterwards to do some very grounding stuff, eat really good clean food, rest, maybe do yoga.